Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to The Music Hole. My name is Cole, and today we're going to be doing my 5th entry in the series I'm calling The Best Albums of All Time. You know, these are albums that basically blew me away, and I just feel really excited to share them with you guys. So hopefully you like them. Today we're going to be talking about a pretty recent entry. This is a band called Big Thief, and this album came out in 2019. It's called Two Hands. I love this album cover, although if you notice, in order for it to lean against here, I had to do like a whatever you call it just to get it to stay, but you know, whatever. So this is a band that is kind of like indie folk, indie rock. You know, the sound of the band is not anything unique, I would say. Although the singer, Adrian Linker, I think is how you say it, she's very unique. She stands out. However, when it comes to the singer, I will say that she has a kind of Bob Dylan syndrome thing going on, which by that I mean you're either gonna enjoy her singing or it might annoy you. And I have a clip that I'm gonna play a little bit later to kind of illustrate that point. And I'll admit that when I first listened to this band, I really enjoyed the production quality, the sounds of the song. I really loved it. The only thing that really took time to grow on me was her voice, because she has this kind of like whispery, almost childlike, cutesy, hushed type thing going on, which is kind of a trend. But in my opinion, she's really the only person who has been able to pull that off really effectively. So this took me a little while to get into, I'll admit that. And for some of you, maybe you can't get past her singing, which, I totally understand that. But anyway, yeah, I really like this album, so let's get into it.
Without his body, naked and bare, quiet and obviously not there. I am that naked thing swimming in air. Why does that mean anything? Why do you stare?
So I think this is a really interesting beginning. Immediately, just a couple things. One being just the production quality in this album is just outstanding. It's the first thing that really jumped out at me when I first heard this album. And it's an interesting choice for, the first song on the album, because it kind of establishes that this is going to be a very personal, very heartfelt type of album. She begins kind of whispering, a little hushed, as I mentioned before. But I think in this song in particular, the vocal style works really well. I have nothing to complain about. But yeah, I think it's a great beginning. And as you can hear, as I mentioned earlier, the actual sound of each song, in terms of like it sounding unique, I would say that this band is basically like the perfected version of indie rock / indie folk, in the sense that like they're not doing a new sound per se. They're just perfecting like an established sound. So that's me being a little bit nitpicky. Like I honestly don't care about that, but it is something you can nitpick if you want, Anyway, So I have another clip from this song, and it has to do with the lyrics, which I'm going to do my best to interpret. So let's check it out.
Lean on your table, ask what you want, tells me I am unable. Cry with me, cry with me.
So if you've seen some of my videos, you probably know by now that I kind of enjoy taking lyrics out of context a little bit and just talking about them, you know, because certain parts of songs kind of jump out at me and I like to kind of figure out how to interpret it. So with these lyrics, it kind of sounds like, you know, Adrian's character is, I guess, having a rough day, or she's just not feeling great or something like that, and she's kind of like possibly taking it out on her boyfriend or girlfriend, and you know, her significant other is like, you know, what do you want me to say? Like, I don't get it. Like, how do I make you feel better? But Adrian's just like, I just need you to cry with me. You know, there's nothing you can say, there's nothing you can do. I just need you to just, you know, have this personal moment with me and just cry with me. So I thought that was kind of beautiful. You know, I don't know what the song as a whole is about, but this particular moment stood out, and I like to think about it in that kind of way. So yeah, that's why I clipped it. Anyway, so with that said, let's check out track number 2.
Forgotten days are the ones which we lose. Forgotten hands are the ones which we choose to let go of, but it is no less a bruise on the collective arm, keeping us high and gone.
So this is track 2, Forgotten Eyes. And again, the production quality just absolutely stands out to you, or to me anyway, on this song. It's just a great beginning, sonically speaking, and a nice little contrast from track 1, which is very hushed and very slow. You know, here we've got basically the first like energetic rock song on the album, and it's just a really great song. And I especially like Adrian's vocal delivery at the end of the clip. I think it's really special. I think it stands out. This part of the song, though, lyrically, I'm not exactly sure what's going on. However, I do have a second clip where I get into some of the lyrics. You know, I get into a moment that stood out to me. So let's check it out and talk about it.
Street, no sirens to hear, just trash and soiled needles clawing the veneer, and no crying, but it is no less a tear on the common cheek with which we smile.
So I really like this part. It's very poetic, you know, it's a bit of social commentary. You know, it sounds like she's talking about a really down and out part of town. You know, there's trash everywhere. There's like used heroin needles here and there. Probably homeless people. She says there's no crying, but I would imagine, you know, the name of the song being Forgotten Eyes, there's probably no crying because the people who are living in this part of town, you know, the homeless people, I guess, you know, that's just been their life for so long. They can't cry about it every day. And they're kind of like, forgotten eyes, people that have been forgotten. And, I just thought this part of the song really stood out to me. I think it's really beautiful. Great lyrics, great delivery. So I wanted to share it. That said, we're going to skip track 3. I actually like track 3 quite a bit, but I do want to save some of the excitement for you guys to just hear on your own. We're going to skip to track 4. And as I mentioned earlier, I had a clip that I want to use to try to demonstrate. It has to do with her vocals. And in this clip, you're going to hear hopefully what I mean when I said that her vocals might not be for everyone. Hopefully they grow on you, they grew on me. But for me, this clip is the worst offender in that sense. So I think it's an important clip. Anyway, so let's check it out.
You somehow let me down, both hands in a gentleman. You cannot take me through new plans. Tell me who.
So yeah, I mean, musically, as far as the instrumentation and everything goes, I think it's a really beautiful song. But I thought this clip was a good demonstration, as I said, of her vocals kind of pushing it a little bit. They're kind of borderline, a little bit too cutesy, I guess. So like I said, this would be like the worst offender for me on the album. So if this doesn't bother you, I mean, you're good to go. Again, like I like the whole album as it's grown on me, but this is my, I'm trying to be aware of the fact that like, yeah, her voice might not be for everybody. Anyway, so that's why I wanted to clip it. So with that said, we're going to talk about track number 5, which I really like. And it gets really dark and depressing with the lyrics. I just have one clip which has to do with the lyrics, which stood out to me. But they're really depressing and sad. So anyway, let's check out track number 5.
Dropped call, mid-fall, only you can offer now.
Yeah, so like I said, that sounds really depressing. If I'm interpreting the lyrics correctly, it sounds like this guy called her right before jumping off a bridge or something. And so like while he's falling, the cell phone call dropped. And, she's the only one who knows right now that this guy just killed himself. And it's just like, oh my goodness, that's so sad. So yeah, that really stood out to me. Geez Louise. That's all I really have to say about this song. I mean, it's another great song, but these lyrics in particular, I was just like, whoa, okay, all right. So anyway, let's talk about track 6. I only have one clip for track 6, and it has to do with more lyrics. So as you can tell, I like the lyrics on this album quite a bit. I especially like how she sings, in particular. Just in general, the whole sound of the album is really good. But anyway, so here's track 6. Let's check it out.
Myself under found you in the morning. The blood was on your shoulders. They found you at the corner.
So I just think this is one of the most amazing vocal performances on the whole album, you know, especially at the end of the clip when she just kind of like loses it, you know, because as she says, like, if I'm interpreting it correctly, it sounds like her brother killed their mother, you know, and the same blood runs in her veins. And I guess it's like, it's really messing with her head that like, how can the same blood that's in my veins, that's in my brother's veins, like how can he be such a monster and I'm like totally fine? That's kind of how I think about it, you know, and it's true. Like, I'm sure many of you out there who have brothers and sisters and, you know, they can be really different from you, even though like it's the same blood in your veins, you know, like you're very similar genetically, but for some reason, you know, let's say your brother is like a jerk or something, but you're a really nice guy. You know, you kind of wonder, like, I don't understand how is that possible? Anyway, so I like this set of lyrics. It kind of made me think of that. And again, her performance vocally is just so wonderful. It's probably my second favorite performance on the whole album. But yeah, so the next track is easily the song from the album. It's the song that you absolutely need to hear. You know, if you don't want to bother listening to the rest of the album for whatever reason, you have to listen to Not, which is track 7. Just, it's so good. It's so epic. So anyway, I just have one clip from it. So let's check it out.
It's not the energy reeling, nor the lines in your face, nor the clouds on the ceiling, nor the clouds in space. It's not the phone on the table, nor the bed in the earth, nor the bed in the stable, nor your stable words.
So again, for me, this is really their masterpiece in their catalog so far. I think it's their best song, you know, and they have many great songs. But especially her vocal performance is just so memorable. You know, the way that her voice cracks during several parts of the song works really beautifully. And, you know, the energy and atmosphere of the song is terrific. And even though I'm not really sure what the song is about, she just sings with such conviction and, you know, I love the lyrics, even though I don't know what they're about, if that makes sense. Like, just the way that she sings them is so good. I just like the lyrics anyway. So that's a little bit unfortunate that I don't really know what the song is about, but that's fine. You know, if you guys know what the song is about, please tell me in the comments and make my day. But anyway, yeah, Not is a great song. Probably the best on the album, in my opinion. Yeah. So, you know, with that said, let's talk about track number 8.
Hello to the morning moon. Woke up as you left the room. Pillows still warm. Scent like meadow grass. Has the feeling come to pass? Has the feeling come to stay? What can we say? Wishing you'd hang around.
So yeah, track 8 is called Wolf, and you know, it's another really personal, heartfelt, diary-ish song. You know, if you listen to the lyrics, it sounds like she, she met some guy probably somewhere, and they had a one night stand, and it's the morning, and she's in bed, and he got up, doing whatever, and she's kind of thinking like, do I really like this guy, or is this going to be like a one night stand? And I guess she decides eventually, she says, I hope that he stays in bed. So I guess he likes him, or she likes him. But it's interesting because the name of the song is Wolf, so it kind of implies that either Adrian or the guy might be a wolf in the sense of like, those kinds of people that go out to bars or clubs and they're just trying to get laid. So I don't know if like she is the wolf here or the guy is the wolf, in the sense of like the guy just wants to sleep with a girl, so he's kind of a wolf. Anyway, I really like this part. I thought it was pretty interesting. But I only have one last clip from this album. It's from the last song, track 10. It's another interesting set of lyrics, so let's talk about it.
Make a clean incision, hold me for ransom, tell me I'm pretty, tell me I'm rare.
I really like this part. Aside from I like her singing, the lyrics really spoke to me. It sounds like what she's saying is she's with this guy and he's probably a bad boyfriend, but he's one of those guys who says like, oh, I love you, you're so wonderful, you're so special, you make me feel so good. And when she says that like she's held for ransom, I think that's what she says. It's kind of like she's a little bit deluded in the sense that, I guess she wants this guy to be a good guy. She wants this guy to be a good boyfriend, to be the one. But it seems like, he's just playing the game. He's being a wolf. He's, he doesn't really care about her. I guess is what it seems like. But, she's caught up in the whole thing, and she can't break away from this guy who's treating her badly. That's how I interpret it. I could be wrong. But anyway, that's the last thing I have to say about this album, clip-wise. But in general, I think it's a lovely album, amazing production quality. The songs are just so wonderful, and her vocal performances, for the most part, stand out so much. As I mentioned, like especially when her voice cracks, like on Not, for example. It's just those are such great moments. They're so memorable. But again, you could nitpick. You could be like, the sound of the band, it's not a unique sound. It just sounds like indie rock / indie folk, but perfected. So it's not like Future Islands, for example, who clearly had their own sound. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't care, as I mentioned. But you could say that, you could nitpick, and I'm sure some people do. However, Adrienne Lenker's voice is just so good. So she's clearly like the standout part of this band. She's the really unique part of this band, But yeah, so this album came out in 2019, and in 2019 they actually released 2 albums. This was the second. The first one is called UFOF, which is also really good. I hesitate to call that one like a best of all time, but it is really good. I think this is their best album. And again, I will say again that her voice, I totally understand it if you just can't get past her style of singing. As I mentioned, I think it was in track 4, every now and then it gets a little too cutesy, even for me, and I like her voice after it's grown on me. But in general, like, I think this is a grower. It had to grow on me, so hopefully it grows on you guys. Hopefully you like it. Again, feel free to comment down below. Did you like the album? Did you hate the album? What did you think about her singing style? Did it annoy you? Did you like it? Whatever you have to say, let's talk about it. And again, if you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. I really like making videos. It's a lot of fun, and I just hope you guys enjoy them. So anyway, yeah, this is Big Thief, one of my favorite new bands. Check them out. Yeah, have a good one.